Mustang fans? Welcome to the Coach Bob DeBesse Show in BOTTLECAP Alley. Glad everybody's here tonight. We've got some very familiar faces on our DNA Awards. We'll get to those this evening. Also, a chance tonight to talk to head tennis coach Kyle Apperson and doubles champions Emila and Sara Gyorgy. Looking forward to having a chance to hear from them tonight. You'll want to hear their story. But we're going to get things going here, talking to Coach Bob DeBesse, jump into last week. Tough loss last week to Arlington Seguin. But, Coach, a ball game that was close early. We're going that first quarter. Cade Moreland had a field goal. It was a 6-3 ball game. Just take us back into that first quarter, kind of your thoughts early in the ball game.
Well, as always, I mean, I was extremely proud of the effort by the kids. I thought we came out with great effort on both sides of the ball. You mentioned the first quarter. Even going into halftime, I felt good about it. You know, we were one play away from making it a real ball game, and I thought our kids hung in there really tough. I mean, the score was indicative of the story of the game, and that was big plays on the part of Summit's offense and our inability to put points on the board. We moved the ball decent. Julian ran for over 100 yards again. But if you're not scoring, it's tough to win. It's a little bit of the same thing that's kind of bit us in the tail every week, and that was, a few too many big plays in order for us to play catch up like we need to. I continue to be proud of our players, the resiliency that they show, the togetherness that they show on the bench in particular. A lot of teams would come apart. A lot of teams would point fingers. It was a great bench. It was a great locker room, and it was a great halftime locker room. And it was exactly the kind of post-game locker room as a coach that you want. They were hurting, and they were disappointed. So for that reason, I believe as strongly as ever that it's just around the corner.
Let's talk about some of the positives. You mentioned Julian Contreras, fourth straight 100-yard rushing game, 23 carries, $122 on the ground. What were the positives you saw on Friday night just in the ground game? Is once again you produce on the ground?
Well, the first thing, Julian would say the same thing. I thought since the fourth quarter of the Wakeland game, I thought our offensive line played the best that they had played the first half of the Seguin game. I thought they were in sync. They looked like they were on the same page. We were getting good effort. And obviously that pays off. You got to be able to control the line of scrimmage. Defensively, we did control the line of scrimmage when it came to the run. What we didn't control or didn't contain was their quarterback. Offensively, I thought we did a nice job of at least, winning our share of the battles in the offensive line the first half. Unfortunately, the second half, we kind of were pedestrian a little bit. But a lot of positives. Jalen Holmes, again, executed the option pretty good. We had some big plays on the perimeter. But Julian Contreras, and we'll talk about him more later with the DNA, but some of the runs he had were just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there was no doubt when it came to DNA award nominees who was going to get the fight award, just because of the toughness and the determination that he showed on Thursday night, excuse me.
So much about the game of football is overcoming adversity. You have an adverse situation on Friday night. What do you take and learn from a game like that? It's a quick turnaround on a Saturday. You're watching film. You're back at practice on a Monday. But what does a game like that teach you?
Well, the first thing as the head coach, I got to make sure the kids are okay and the coaches are okay. And once you see that they're okay and once you see they're in the right time frame, after you've given them some time to digest it and be upset, once you see that they're okay, then it's exciting to move forward to see if you can get it right. When people are in this situation sometimes, they have a tendency to ask the question, why me? Why us? Well, why the hell not us? I mean, what makes Grapevine immune from struggling, and going through some tough times in football? There's no guarantees in anything, and so we can. I'm not going to sympathize with them. I'm going to empathize with them, but I'm not going to sympathize with them because that would be a mistake, and they don't want me to do that. And so you can learn a lot, all the lessons of getting back up and fighting again, and and doing it with a great attitude and bringing somebody with you. All those things. And our kids came out this morning just like I expected them to. We had to have a sudden change. We went to the MAC and practiced indoors because of the weather. They handled that like champions. We had a really good practice, so a good start to the week to prepare for Summit.
We'll get to the film here in a little bit. Have a chance also just to touch on Mansfield Summit. Big game this Friday at Mustang Panther Stadium. Let's get to the guys that did perform on Friday, our DNA players of the week, and we'll bring these guys up. The Attitude Award was Michael Yatorka this week, junior linebacker. Michael was a guy that was out, I think, the first week or two with an injury. What's it meant for you? Let's just start right there, just to get back on the football field.
It's been great. There's not a moment that I didn't want to be back playing on the field with my guys, and I'm just glad to be back and playing on the field and just being with them.
One thing Coach DeBesse is talking about is just how much the game of football teaches you through adversity and resiliency. This award right here on a week like this speaks volumes, I think, for you. Take us to Friday night, just from an attitude perspective, when you're down like that and you keep fighting. Because I love what Coach Bob DeBesse said about, hey, I like what I saw in the locker room. Guys were, we weren't giving in. And then at the end of the game, guys were hurting. But for you, what do you try to do in terms of picking guys up and continuing to push?
Well, I think the main focus is just not looking at the scoreboard, just not paying attention to the score, and regardless of what's going on in the game, just playing the next snap, like it's the beginning of the ball game, 0-0, and just in the locker room, making sure that we're keeping our heads up and encouraging our guys.
Great job, Michael. Looking forward to seeing you back on Friday night. Our Compete Award was Brady Boozer, senior safety and wide receiver. I think you make your name on the defensive side of the football, but how much do you embrace the idea of getting a chance to play both sides of the ball?
A lot. It's super fun. It's a little tiring at practice from time to time, but it's fun.
Just looking at the box score on Friday night that Coach sent me just individually, tied for the team lead in tackles. What's key for you, just having a nose for the football and being around the ball at all times?
In the first couple of games, I had been missing a lot of tackles, so I had a big emphasis going into the week at practice, just continuing to try to make tackles and stick through tackles and not just kind of grab at them and let them run through me. So.
Defense is there's so much that goes into it, and from a safety perspective, take us through. You're lining up. What are you looking at? Your keys and how that takes you to the ball.
Well, usually I'm in the box and I'm kind of staring at the tight end, and really I just see ball, hit ball. So it makes it kind of easy for me. I'm really just a linebacker that's fast, so it works.
You want to play fast on the defensive side of the ball. So
yes, sir.
Absolutely. Keep it simple. Great job, Michael. Brady Boozer, everybody. Family Awards. Tatum Evans, a junior linebacker. Tatum, despite a tough loss like this, that word family, and this group of guys, kind of your brothers on the team, what does an award like that mean to you?
I mean, it's kind of like Coach talked about, even going into halftime in the locker room, see the scoreboard, but that doesn't matter. You got to get the guys going. You got to go back out there and finish the second half.
There's so much talent on that side of the football. Think about guys like yourself. We talk about Brady. What does it mean to kind of put this one behind you? And because this defense is so strong, what do you try to do to regroup and say, hey, let's get back on Friday night and show everybody what great defensive football is about?
Yeah, I mean, we focus on the positives that we see on film, and we try to build on the negatives. And going into this week, preparing for Summit, you just try to work on those. And, today, we worked on tackling. A lot of tackling today in practice, and, you're going to see that in this next game. We're going to be ready to give them a fight.
Love it. Any Oklahoma drills today? No?
Some variations,
Awesome. Tatum Evans, everybody. Linebacker. Great job. This week's Tough Award. It's his fourth straight DNA award. Luke Gormley, junior linebacker. Luke, you're a regular up here, man. How do you feel like, in terms of just this award here, the tough award, how do you feel like you continue to show toughness? How do you try to demonstrate that each week in and week out?
Well, you know, as Tatum just mentioned, we need to work on our tackling. I try to connect with every tackle I make. I try to bring the team with me. Coach Will has given us an emphasis to lift up our teammates and bring them with us as we go, because that's what's going to help us win ball games. And our team as a whole, I feel, is already very tough. But if we keep on building on that and getting better, it's gonna lead to better results.
You know, I was asking Brady just about having a nose for the football, and every time I look up, you're right there on the ball. I feel like we're calling your name every play. Take us into your mindset, just in terms of getting lined up and how you seem to have a knack to be around the football.
Well, I get lined up. I make my calls, tell the D-line what to do pre-snap, and then I'm reading my keys. I'm watching what the guard's doing, the tackle. Depending on that, tells me where to go, and kind of just go off that. And our coaches say turn the robot off and go make a play. So that's what I try to do.
Looking forward to calling your name a lot this Friday night.
Thank you.
It's Luke Gormley. Well, this week's Fight Award, as Coach Bob DeBesse was just talking about him a moment ago, Julian Contreras, senior running back. Well, no surprise, another 100-yard game. I know a tough loss, but one thing that stood out, Coach DeBesse just talked about you, the types of runs that you're having. You're a vicious runner, man. Tenacity when you run the football. 4 straight 100-yard games. What's been key to your production this year?
Just doing what I can do and following the big guys up front.
For you offensively this week, as you try to get things back on track, we see a lot of, I think, bright spots with a young quarterback, an offensive line that's coming together, as Coach DeBesse talked about. What do you feel like has to be key this week to really get the offense going against Summit?
Just the blocking, you know. We just got to protect up front before we can do anything else.
I love it. Starts with the guys up front. Great job, Julian. Julian Contreras.
Before we get to our special guest, just based on the week that these guys had, I don't think that the coaches could have done a better job of matching up our DNA award winners was how these guys played and how they represented themselves. I think about, we talked about Julian, but I think about Tatum. Tatum had a great week. I noticed Tatum this last week talking to a lot of people across the board, reaching across to the offense, as well. That's why he got the family award. There's not a better competitor than Brady Boozer. And Michael's another one that's right in there with Tatum as far as just being a great teammate and getting out of himself and helping others. I will say, though, this may not fit with the image of toughness of Luke Gormley, but I got to share with you. We're very fortunate in that as coaches, every week the Booster Club provides dinner for us on Sunday night. And so the Gormleys brought us dinner last night, and with it was a big Tupperware container full of chocolate chip type cookies that Luke Gormley made. Okay? And they were absolutely fantastic. He could sell them. I promise you he could sell them. So that doesn't quite fit with the tough image, but Luke, you did good. We appreciate it. All right, I'm going to turn it back to Reagan here in a second, but I want to introduce our special guest, and then he's got 2 special guests. We won 2 state championships at Grapevine High School last year, right? We had Coach Webster in baseball last week. We're very fortunate to have Coach Kyle Apperson in tennis this week. Those of us that know that our tennis program is one of the strongest athletic programs year in and year out, constantly competing at the state level and the regional level and what have you. and it's been under the constant leadership of Coach Apperson. So we're thrilled to death that he's here and thrilled to death that he's got two special guests to introduce. So come on up here, Coach.
Thank you. Hello.
Coach Kyle Apperson, what a year that they had. State champions last year. We're going to get to have a chance to visit with two big reasons behind that state title. 14-5 right now. Their season, if you don't know, they're in the midst of their team portion of their schedule. They'll play individuals in the spring, but right now they're out to a 14-5 record, qualified for the playoffs already. That's going to start October 7th, so there's already good things happening right now. But let's go back to last year, Coach. State championship last year. How special was a run like that you had?
It was pretty big for me. I was going back and looking. It'd been exactly 10 years since I'd won one at my previous school, so I thought that was pretty neat. And the way it happened was pretty special. I think you're going to get into that when you talk with the young ladies. So
yeah, we're going to have a chance. I'm trying my best not to. I've told them I'm going to get their names right. Emmy and Sara Gyorgy. By your look, I didn't get it right. That's all right, though. We're going to keep trying. They're a huge reason that double state champions. For you, what's it been like from the time that they arrived on campus last year, a chance to coach two special sisters like this?
Well, we got them lucky. They moved here. They've almost been here a year, and it was only by pure luck that I found them. Coach Micah, the head girls basketball coach, mentioned two girls that had showed up, and I did some research, and they were great they were good players, so I took a chance and recruited them. And I don't even know if they remember this, but their very first practice that they'd come out after our season's over, I don't even know if they remember this, but we hit and we practiced during this period and everything, but at the end of the practice, I always whistle and I say, hey, pick up balls. They both, as brand new kids, nobody even knew who they were, they ran to pick up all the balls that they're doing. And all of my kids are looking at that going, wow. And that's just what they do. I mean, everything they do on the tennis court and in life as well, they just do it to the best of their ability. And it showed months later.
We've got two tremendous leaders then that are setting the tone. Obviously, we know the talent that we've got here with us tonight. What else can you tell us about the team that you've got and the strength of this squad this year?
Oh, I mean, most definitely. At one point, we were ranked as high as 6 in the state. We dropped to 11, and that's fine. But what people don't understand is last year, we ended the season about 30, number 30. You get two top-notch players on a tennis team, and all of a sudden you're a top 10 program. I mean, and that's what they do, because they just bring the top level up, and the players you already have get to drop down a little, and it just your depth just gets so good, because with them, our depth is just incredible on the girls' side.
You've got playoffs obviously coming up soon. Two kind of very different seasons, but what is the outlook? As you get into closer to playoffs, what do you feel like this team is capable of doing, both in the fall and the spring?
I said at the beginning of the year, I told the parents, I said, if everything goes right, we have a chance at making it to state. Not winning. Frisco and them have some very good teams. They're just deeper. But making it to state, for me, is a big deal. And if everything goes right, we have a chance. A lot of things have to go right, though. So,
well, let's hear it for Coach Apperson. We're going to have a chance to talk to two ladies right here, get their take on it. This is Emmy, right? And Sara Gyorgy. You pronounce your last name.
Gyorgy.
Gyorgy. Okay.
Yeah.
I was close. What a fascinating story this is in coming from Hungary. Just take us back to from the time that you arrived. What has it been like since arriving in the States October the 7th of last year?
Yeah, so we moved here in last year in October because I want to play college tennis, and there are lots of opportunities here. And it's very different. I mean, the life is very different between the Hungary because everything is bigger in here, and people are so nice, I think. And I just like to live here.
Sara, how about for you?
I love American school. This is my big dream. I love everything here because I want to go college and I love the weather.
Better today than it was yesterday, or you like
Yeah.
the heat? You like the heat?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, you've been playing together for a long time.
Yes.
You're the younger sister. Doubles champions last year. What has it been like since the time you were young playing together in doubles? Has it always been fun and games?
No. In Hungary, we can't play together because we always was mad at each other. So it was hard to play together. But here, the coach just helped us, and now we can play together, and it's fun. So, yeah.
What would you say Coach Apperson has done to help with that? Because it may have been challenging in your early years and not many opportunities, but what has he done to help you with just communication between the two of you?
I mean, he always tell us just have fun, and he taught me just play, and he teach me how can move on the court, and I think when we figured out that way, we just start to understand the doubles, and we just start to enjoying the play, and and coach always said, okay, don't worry if you miss, just have fun, and we just got this vibe, so that was so good.
How do you describe the feeling last year when you won a state championship? How do you put that into words?
It was so good. I mean, it was. I never thought I can be a state champ. I mean, when we won, we was very happy. So it was incredible.
Sara, how about for you? What's since you've won a state title, you're only a sophomore, so you win it as a freshman. What's the process been like with you and your sister and the team? What are you trying to do now? You're turning the page, so you're trying to get ready. You want to go win another one, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So what did you learn from last year that you're trying to do this year?
I don't know. I want to win state again.
Yeah.
And coach said next year I can win the state in singles or with my little sister.
Is there a part of your game that you want to improve from last year to this year?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait. I mean, the job that these ladies have done, remarkable to come in to arrive from Hungary in less than a year. You're state champions. You're going to go try to win another one this year. Let's hear it for these young ladies. Outstanding job.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. These are Seguin highlights, some telling moments, okay? This is on our first drive right here, okay? So here's Julian right off the bat, busting a big one. Got some help from Kel Thompson downfield. We're having, we've got some injuries at the running back spot. Jaime Sanchez has been out now for 2 weeks, maybe a third coming up. So we've had to use our wide receivers as pitchbacks a lot. Good job by the offensive line. Moving the front. Good game by Julian. Okay, that resulted. I believe that result. No, that one didn't result in a field goal, but it was a good drive. Okay. All right. So here we go, and I put this on here because this just kind of illustrates how dangerous this guy is. This guy's got a couple of Power 5, Power 4 offers, I guess, and I thought he showed why he has them the other night. I don't know if you got a chance to size up number 5, but he was a little dude, but he was magic, man. He really was. He was a heck of a football player. But that's a really good job of Seguin executing, and a great job of our guys pursuing. It's early in the ball game, so getting used to the speed of the game is always important. Okay, here's a run on 2nd and 10. Brady talked about being a linebacker at safety level. You can see him coming off the near hash right here, basically down at linebacker level with Michael, Bradley, Tatum, again, there's Tatum again. We talked about Tatum last week, being a B-gap player and securing the B-gap and spilling a lot of things. That's really good team defense right there, and good job. Again, I thought our defense did a great job of containing the run. As far as the running backs were concerned, as far as the rushing game was concerned, we did a good job fitting the run, really a good job fitting the run. All right, this was a killer, right? Our defense just stopped them. It's 4th and long. It's 4th and 10. It's 4th and 10. This is actually a fake. Okay, you can see they're running a route down here to the short side of the field. And we've got him, right? We've got him pinned in. We've got him dead to rights. And these are the kind of things that when we find a way to eliminate them, and we will, or at least minimize them, when we find a way to minimize them, now all of a sudden the defense is off the field. The offense has got a short field, and that's a formula for success for everybody, but particularly the Mustangs. We've got to get some short fields for our offense. So credit Seguin, credit that kid for a heck of a play, but we should have been off the field defensively there. Good job on the run here. I'm going to put it – all right, we got Tatum again. We got Thomas Powers coming off the edge. Cedric Hicks is doing a really good job as a sophomore playing nose guard for us. Maybe a little bit out of position, but he's doing a great job for us. Okay, you got Michael and you got Luke again inside. Heck of a, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, that's Michael outside, that's Tatum inside. Okay, so here's Michael coming through, shooting through the gap and making a play. All right, so even though they just had a big play, you keep playing hard. Good things can happen when you play hard. They did end up scoring on that drive, but again, it was all based on the fact that we gave up a fake punt on 4th and 10. Great effort by Jalen Holmes here. There's nothing here. We have two busts in the blocking on the perimeter right there, so there's nobody to pitch off of. So he makes a good decision not to pitch it, but watch the run that he has here. Okay, he does his own version of a quarterback that's hard to contain right there. Okay, I'll show you from the end zone. Does a good job of escaping the tackles, or the Summit or the Seguin tacklers right there, and then he cuts back against the grain. That was a speed option, so it was a full flow play. We had the whole defense running. It's a good job of him picking up a big gain. And this is something that we haven't talked a whole lot about, but this is a really good job by Cooper Towery, Ryland Goen, and Caden Moreland, our field goal kicker. That's a really good execution on a field goal. We've had times this year when we've been a little bit shaky. That's about as good as you get, other than our left side being a little bit soft on the block. But that's a heck of a job by Cooper, Ryland, and Cade, and that's not something that you can, certainly not something that you can take for granted. Okay? All right, now, this is not fun to look at, but I want to show you. Watch Carlos McKay on the hash, number 7. Watch Carlos McKay on the hash. Watch Carlos backpedal, not turn his hips until the defender gives an indication of where he's taking the route. So there was no throw right there. There was no throw to Carlos's receiver right there. However, if you look at our corners, they're both breaking a lot of cardinal sins of corners right here. They come out of their back pedal sooner than what they should. They turn their hips way too early for absolutely no reason. One of our corners has his eyes in the backfield, which is always a recipe for disaster. And this is inexcusable. I mean, this is absolutely inexcusable. That's not what we're coached to do, and this shouldn't happen. It absolutely shouldn't happen. So hopefully this is a great lesson learned. He could have thrown to either one of those guys and he would have scored. Hopefully that's a great lesson learned, and we don't see that anymore. Okay? Again, a great run here by Julian. Okay, there's nothing there. I shouldn't say there's nothing there. I mean, there's a gash there. We're not getting the type movement that we'd like to get, but it's not bad. It's not bad, but he does a great job of squirting through, moving his feet. That's the one thing he's done a great job of all year long. You watch even here. Watch his feet continue to move, okay? He's not going to stop, okay? The whistle's going to have to blow to tell him to stop. So great run there by Julian. Again, this is the first half. We got something going here, okay? Another really good jump cut. We call that a jump cut right there, where you press play side, and then all of a sudden the defensive front slants to the play side, so you jump cut, get back to the backside, and get vertical as fast as you possibly can. Okay, watch the receiver up top. Watch the receiver up top. Good technique. Good job of being physical. Great job of finishing. Hadn't finished yet. He's still finishing. He's playing through the whistle. That's Brady Boozer. That's our safety right there playing wide receiver. So that's part of the reason he got the compete award. No matter where he plays, whether it's special teams, offense, or defense, he's going to play hard. He's going to compete hard. Now, again, game of inches, right? Game of inches, game of inches, game of inches. Got him dead to rights. No, we don't. Got him dead to rights. No, we don't. Barely escapes. Barely has time to get it off. We got 2 guys in his face. That's a great throw. That's a great throw and catch. You got to give him credit. That's a heck of an athlete right there making a big-time play. Okay? Our kids are fighting their tails off, doing what they're asked to do. We're almost there. Next time maybe we'll pull the trigger just a little bit quicker and maybe we'll get there. All right, now we do have him pinned. Good rush. Look at the front. This is the front 5 right here. We're bringing a 5th one up top. Okay, so we got really good push, making him uncomfortable in the pocket. He steps up, and there's Bradley Stanier coming off of his block, peeling off of his block, and creating a sack. Okay, creating a negative play. So that was one of the times that we did contain him, and that was a really good job by our front. And I think it was Michael again on the rush. Tatum initially making him uncomfortable coming through the middle. Tatum getting held. You can't really complain about getting held in the defensive line because it happens on every snap. Just the way it is. All right, here's Jake Graham. Okay, so Jake actually busted through a couple of times for some solid gains. Okay, this is a gain of about 8 or 9 yards right here. I thought Jake, for a true freshman, I thought he showed a little bit more burst, like he's looking a little bit more comfortable in there. You got to imagine how tough that is as a true freshman to play on Thursdays and Friday nights. So that's a heck of a run, picking up a big first down on second down. Once again, offensive line doing a good job of creating. Watch our offensive line here. Hadn't seen as much of that as we need to see this year. We need to see more of this where we're moving the offensive line. We're moving the line of scrimmage towards them. As opposed to being stalemated there. That's a good job by the O-line and by Jake right there. Okay. This one right here, I'm gonna show you the end zone right here. I believe this is Ashton Player. No, this is Dallas. Okay, this is Dallas Davis to the left side of my screen. I guess the left side of your screen too. Watch this throw and catch. I mean, you couldn't have run that out there and put it in his hands any better than what the quarterback does right here. That's really good coverage. See Davis's technique right there. That's great technique. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Receiver looks back for the ball, rake his arm so the ball comes out. I mean, that's a great job. That's a great job. Okay, so once again, great job by Dallas, but you give Seguin credit for making a big play. All right, good job of penetration again. Trying to sneak a little delayed handoff by, okay, but they don't fool our front right here. Once again, a good example of containing the run. Okay, Bradley Stanier off the edge. Okay, Tatum helping out. Cedric Hicks falling back in right there. Okay, Luke Gormley in on the play right there. Okay, a lot of guys running to the football. I don't know if you could tell from the stands, but look at the size of Seguin's offensive line. Look at the size of their offensive line. They're giants. But our guys did a really good job with movement. They didn't handle movement very well. Once again, you hope you got them dead to rights. You got to go for the upfield shoulder. You got to go for the upfield shoulder so you don't lose contain. If you're going to rush from the outside, you got to go for the upfield shoulder so you don't lose contain. You can't let them spin out over the top like that. Almost there. Throws back across his body, tip pass, first down. So they had some plays. They made some plays. They had a little bit of luck too. They made some of their luck too. I mean, I'll admit that. They made some of their luck. But that's a dangerous throw by that kid right there. Ball gets tipped, and they end up making the catch. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but they do a good job of max protecting. They got 2 tights, 2 backs. So there's 9 men in protection right there, okay? Smart, right? We've been putting some pressure on them. Our D-line's kind of been having their way. 9 men in protection. They throw a little slant and go right here or a little stutter and go right there. Great throw and catch. Great throw and catch. Okay? The worm's going to turn. Our DBs are going to start making plays on the ball. There's no question about it, okay? Excellent tackle here by Brady coming out of the middle again, the safety position. Looks like right here we could be in trouble. Looks like right here we could be in trouble, but a great job of him hanging on, and then he gets some help from some of his teammates there at the end of the tackle. That's a lonely position right there, man. That's mano-a-mano right there. Who's going to win? Okay? A lot of white shirts, a lot of red pants rallying to the ball right there. In my opinion, and this is no secret, I'm not talking out of school. We've talked about it as a team. In my opinion, we've been at best average on special teams since the first ball game. I thought Wakeland, it was in our favor. I don't think that we've done a great job on special teams the last 3 games. We brought up 3 JV kids to see if they could provide us with a spark on special teams, maybe replace some of the guys that are in there. This is a great effort by the kid, but again, we got him dead to rights right here, I think. Okay? So you see where we need to improve, like the kids have been saying. We continue to come up with ways to try to put him in a position to improve as far as open field tackling is concerned, and you're going to see it pay off. I promise you, you're going to see it pay off. Unbelievable run. There's nothing there. I mean, really, there's not a whole lot there. This is an inside zone. Okay, this is an inside zone. He's pressing to the right side right here. There's not a whole lot here. Not a whole lot going on. Not so much on the interior, but at the edge of the formation right there, it's just kind of sloppy. Not a whole lot going on. So Julian bounces it outside, makes somebody miss, and then he just starts running through tackles. And I thought this run kind of typified his night right there. He wouldn't go down. He absolutely would not go down. And we got to continue to have him to have that fight each and every week to give ourselves a chance. All right. All right, no gain here on the rush again. This was pretty much the story of the night as far as them trying to run the football between the tackles, okay? Really good job by Tatum. Again, Tatum played 2 positions. Really good job by Tatum. Redirecting right here, right? Redirecting right here to make a play on the ball carrier. Bradley Stanier again playing on the outside. Cedric Hicks playing on the outside again. We got Andres Garcia inside. 2 sophomores in there doing a great job. So if you look at that front right there, you've got 2 sophomores and 2 juniors in that front. 2 sophomores and 2 juniors in that front, with Bradley Stanier being the only senior. So there's Cooper Towery coming in too as a junior. So a lot of exciting things to happen both in 2024 and ahead. Okay. Once again, the guy that was on fire, okay, we just kept feeding him the ball because we knew that if we gave it to him, we were going to get positive yards. A lot of help downfield, though. Will Mason at the center position, working off to the Mike linebacker right there. Brady Kays, another sophomore. No, I'm sorry, that's Luke Stewart coming from wide receiver spot, making a difference downfield as well. Good job by Bergen at their left tackle spot. Good job by Spencer Williams and Will Mason with the combo from the right guard in the center spot right there. That's a good job by the offensive line. That's a good gash right there for Julian to run through. And that is it.
Coach, as we talk about just this district, one of the toughest districts in the state, without question. You get another tough opponent there in Seguin. It's another one. Let's flip the page to this week, Friday night, Mansfield Summit. Traditionally been another strong program. As you've watched them on film, what stands out to you both sides of the ball?
First thing that stands out is speed. When you think of Mansfield Summit, you think about football, but you also think about track. They're constantly have a heavy presence in the state track meet. So the first thing you see across the board is speed. They have a quarterback that's different. He's not as elusive as Seguin's quarterback, but he can hurt you with his arm as well. Really good speed on the outside. Defensively, probably the best front that we've played across the board. 4 guys that are, they don't pressure a lot because they don't have to pressure a lot. They get pressure, they get home with 4. 2 corners that'll just man up and not pay any attention to the run game. They'll just try to take the receivers out of it. So they're a 1-2 football team. They played 2 6A programs to start the season. They played Louisville, pretty good program, and Mansfield, pretty good program. Got beaten those 2, and then they just beat Burleson last week 35-10.
Okay. The things you talk about there, what they do up front defensively, the speed they have at the skill position, what becomes key then for you on Friday night at home?
What becomes key defensively is keeping things in front of us. Keeping things in front of us and learning, living to fight another down. It's really, really, really difficult to drive the football on offense. It's incredibly difficult to drive the football for any length of time. Normally what happens is the offense shoots themselves in the foot and stops the drive, ends up getting behind the chain and stop the drive. So if we'll just keep things in front of us, we're playing good enough defense in other areas that we can have our share of stops, we can get our share of short fields, we can make some things happen in the special teams and start working all 3 phases together. So that would be the key on defense, and the key on offense is going to be grind it out, take advantage of some explosive plays because of their aggressiveness, but more than anything else, try to keep that offense off the field by grinding it out and making first downs. It may not be pretty, it may not be flashy, but that's our formula for success.
We're looking forward to Friday night. You'll want to be there. Don't miss it. Mustang Panther Stadium Friday night against Mansfield Summit. I want to tell you, too, our next coaches show Monday next week will be at Esparza's.
Esparza's, yep.
Yeah, we want to say a special thanks to BottleCap Alley. Special thanks tonight for all that you've done to make this possible.
Can I say one more thing, too? First off, thanks to everybody for being here. Fantastic crowd. Second thing is, don't forget, Friday night is senior night. Okay, Friday night is senior night. That's a special night for 20 guys on our football team and 20 families. You guys that are juniors over here, you'll be shocked at how fast it comes for you. But senior night, Friday night.
Yeah, can't wait. Also, thanks to Coach Apperson, to Emmy and Sara. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let's go get a win on Friday night. Look forward to seeing everybody there.